Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friendly Differences 2.0. I am Solid Blue Sister, and with me is my co host.
The outspoken and unapologetic one, Dread Empath.
Well, y'all, today we're going to talk about grammar. And I know one of the things that I always say that you all hear me say a lot is y'all. I have been saying y'all for a long time. So, is that good grammar? Is it, bad grammar? Um, y'all is you all. Is that
Right.
good or bad grammar? But this may be a topic that may rub some people the wrong way because I'm just gonna come out and tell y'all bad grammar to me, it makes me, I
Cringe.
kind of, yes, it does. It makes me cringe. And my mom was a teacher, so I grew up with, what did you just say? You want to say that one more time? And I found that I was doing that with my son. I would say, and even now I'm like, what did you just say? He's like, okay, mom, and he would repeat it, so the way you speak, I also, in my opinion, if you have poor grammar, you can't spell. I think spelling and grammar goes hand in hand, but that's, we gonna get into the spelling part of it. But I just want to let y'all know how I feel about not being able to say a proper sentence. Sentence structure is important. And I'm also going to say this: you can have education, but not be educated. So,
Ooh.
dread.
Okay. I think that we have gotten very lazy. First of all, okay, can we talk about people who do not spell who do not know how to spell via text message? You have the predictive text. So how are you spelling these words wrong? Okay, I think that some people slept during language arts, English, all of it. They don't know a antonym, a synonym, a homonym, a homophone. They don't know any of it. Okay, two, and two are kicking people's tails online. They really don't know the difference between the number two, let's go to the store, and I'm a girl too. TWO, and TO. They don't know the difference between there, and there. I just, when you're pushing 40, it's just certain things we should not have to tell
No, no,
you.
no, 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 no. No, see, you're giving too wide of a berth. It's not pushing 40. It's when literally when you've gone through high school, you have gotten your degree. You're supposed to be knowledgeable in just basic skills. So I'm sorry, I'm pulling it back to 18. You're being too liberal with pushing 40. My
Because,
opinion.
okay, but solid, this might be another topic for another day, but I'm in those TikTok streets and I'm listening to these teachers saying that these kids that are in seventh grade are reading and writing on a fourth grade level. So 18 and okay, if we're going to get into spelling and grammar, we would have to go back to the beginning. I think that we remember having term papers, do we not?
Hmm. Hmm.
And our teachers were some of the worst critics. You would get a paperback and it was black and white when you gave it to her, and then it came back in red. She just run on, fragment, no comma, no period, semicolon here. This idea doesn't match with this. You have no introduction. Your body did and listen to how I'm speaking. This is because one, I did go to college. So I had to learn MLA and APA. But before you learn all of that, you still got to learn how to sentence structure people.
But all right, I am going to say this, and I'm going to probably piss off some educators because it is true, and you know it's true. You have some
Okay.
educators. that do not know how to speak. You have some educators that, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm sending my child to school to sit in your classroom and you are saying what?
I think at this point with the teachers, they're taking who the hell they can get. Nobody wants to be a teacher because, okay. And then you have people, grown people, who don't like to be corrected. You have people who do not take what kindly to being corrected. They literally will get offended for you saying, "Hey, it's salmon, not salmon." Ugh!
See, so you have things that make you twitch and cringe. So again, I don't think it's a cultural thing because I have heard bad grammar across the board. Um, there are times when I say something and I have to go back and I have to, you know, but I correct myself. I find that when I'm reading, like on my podcast, I find that when I'm reading what people are saying, I have to look twice, then I have to go back and I have to reread it to put it in the proper sentence structure. I'm not going to read is you and you be. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not proper English. And some people can
It's
say,
not.
well, are you talking white? Do we have to talk white? Is that white? People will say that. People will say, well, you're talking
Ah,
the white man's English. I'm sorry, but me as a business owner, and I have people who answer my phones and what have you. And one of the first things that I did, which knocked a lot of people out the yeah, I was like, no, sorry, I cannot have you, is I give spelling tests and I give grammar tests. I also do the old fashioned filing thing. You know how you have to, when old fashioned, you have to file whatever.
yeah,
You'd be
alphabetical
amazed of
order.
how many people, because that's also spelling. You'd be amazed at people who don't know, MME and the last name and how to, you have people who don't know that. So when I'm listening to them and I'm like, you're sitting there, I also give them, where I will give them uh, a paragraph that is so messed up. And I said, I need you to fix it. And the first thing
Okay.
everyone says is, do you have a laptop or a computer? I said, no, just write it. Just fix it, write it. And they're like, these are grown people. And then they give it back to you. And it's more messed up than when I gave it to you. So I'm like, I'm just saying that, we rely on the spell check. We rely, and sometimes the spell check even messes it up.
Right.
So it's like, people who they text you something or you read something on social media, and it's like, is there a period, a capital, a comma, something? It's just one long sentence that goes on and on and on and on. It's like punctuation. Do you know what that is?
Well, the problem is, and I see this so much on social media. First of all, and this goes for everybody out there, do not attempt to insult me if you do not know how to properly write a sentence. I can understand a mistake here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but I will drag you to filth if you try to insult me. Insult people. See, there's another one. Not assault, insult. Please know the difference. But people get really bent out of shape, even, oh, here comes the grammar police. Yeah, because you know what? You probably really don't know how to structure a sentence or put in a punctuation. I mean, did semicolons retire? Did periods retire? You don't keep talking when you're talking to somebody. You pause. You pause before you continue your idea. And you can tell these
Oh
people
Lord.
did not, these people slept through English. I had a girl tell me, "Oh, okay, Miss Okay, Miss English. I said, yes, a class you obviously skipped. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that because like you said, you're a business owner. So you're hiring people, resumes, everything. You have to know how to communicate with people. You have to know if somebody is correcting how you're saying a word. You know what I mean? Yeah. They would know what you mean too, but they're going to think you're a moron. I'll
Mhm.
give you an example. A friend of mine, whenever I'm driving, she will ask me, "Are you on the road?" RODE. And I always text back, "I am on the road." ROAD. I have corrected her numerous times and she still refuses. I said, "You do realize that road and road are homonyms, right? They sound the same, but there's no homophones, spelled differently, but sound the same." I said, "Road, RODE, is past tense for ride. Road, ROAD, is street. What's so hard about that?" She was like, "Why are you always being so goddamn technical? Why are you always so goddamn?" I'm like, "Because it makes my butt itch when you write that."
You know,
Is
um,
you. Is you. I be sitting.
have you heard of confunction junction?
What?
All right. Okay. See, now I'm showing my age. Okay.
Oh, what's your
Confunction.
function?
Yeah, confunction
What?
junction. What's your function? You
Yes,
know.
the little train.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Um, my son used to watch that all the time, and I have to say that that is one video, CD, whatever you want to call it, that should remain in schools or homes, whatever, because it teaches your children and um, it teaches adults. And there are a lot of tools out there that are free, like the library that you can
Yes,
go to and you can, you know, where you can go and you can, you know, read a book, the dictionary. And I'm sorry, I do not believe in going to Google to learn how to spell a word. I am an old fashioned person. Pull out the dictionary
dictionary.
to
And
learn
sound it out.
how to spell a word. Uh, I see Marlon says the library is dead. Not in my house. Not in my house. The library, we go to the library all the time. We all have library cards. I have never not had one since I was like 5. I get it renewed. I check out books. I go there. I am sorry. And there are a lot of other people who are there too. It is always packed.
I love
So,
the
you
library.
know,
I
so
do.
but library and library and Dred, you and I, we've talked about this. I don't understand how it's a
Oh, I
how it's a library. Now I know that there are some words in English that are silent that you don't pronounce, but library you pronounce it are bruh, 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 bruh.
yeah, but I find that people have a problem with that R.
E-
Oh, it's February. No, it's February.
February,
Like,
February, and Marlon, I'm sorry. You may not go, but the library is at least
listen.
where I am. The library is very popular. It was very. I'm sorry.
I enjoyed a lot the local library in my town because but it's also very disheartening because every time I go there, if it's not empty, everybody's at the computer. People go to the library to get on the computer.
Yeah, okay, I
M-
have to say, I don't know. Maybe it depends upon where you are, because the library in my city, they, people are they on their laptops, computer and stuff,
Right.
but they also have story time.
Yes.
Kids are doing their homework. Adults are there doing. I mean, people are like literally checking out books. Where there are sometimes when I go to get a book where there is like a waiting list. So,
Ooh.
and I'm just saying, but the library is just something that that needs to stay alive, because
Yes.
that's where all this book banning and what have you. So yeah, yeah.
I actually went to the library one day because they had a nice little recliner, nice little armchair, and I found a book that I liked, and I said, I don't want to go home yet. So I just sat there and I read half the book, and then I said, okay, I'm ready to go. I checked out the book. I finished reading. You know, reading was always a big thing in my home.
Hmm.
My mother made
Hmm.
my brother and I, see that, people, not my brother and me, my brother and I, she always made us read. My father was an avid reader before he had a stroke. My mom, one of the earliest gifts I remember getting as a kid was an encyclopedia set. I learned about the human body before I was 6 years old. I knew how to say the Arabic alphabet. I knew how to I knew how to say all 50 states in alphabetical order. And that's because my mother made me read
Hmm.
all the time.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm not I'm not knocking technology, but the more technology we get, the stupider we're
Yeah,
becoming.
we are.
The more
We are.
stupid we're becoming
Yes.
because, like you
Yes.
said, we can you don't even have to sound out a word to figure out how to spell it. All you got to do is hit Google, say the word, and it spells out for you. Not only does it spell it out for you, it gives you the meaning. So I feel as though people have no reason. I feel like people now are willfully ignorant. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone, but in 2023, with all this technology, there is no reason why you still don't know the difference between two, two, and two, there, and there. No
Weather.
reason whatsoever.
Weather,
Weather.
WEATHER, WHETHER. I mean, there are so many, and like you said, road and road, RODE, ROAAD. I mean, is it the fact that people just don't care? And uh, I think it's a shame. And I was talking to a teacher last week, and they were talking about how they teach sixth grade, and how she has people in her class that can't read at a kindergarten or first grade level. And and you think about this, and you're like, okay, so these teachers are just passing these kids on. They get to eighth grade, they are passed into high school. Um, they can't read. So if you can't read, you're not going to learn. Then they're seniors, get that diploma, they walk across the stage,
No child
and
left behind.
you know, which was a joke. And it's like, so now if you don't go on to college and you have to get a job, what job can you get when literally when you are not reading? I mean, even if you're the janitor, you have to be able to read the box that you know you have to read.
Yeah, you have to not just read, but comprehend.
Yes, yes,
Comprehend. Like, okay,
yes,
let's take college out of it. We'll say trade school. If you're going to be an electrician, I think you should understand the difference between voltage and amperage.
yes.
It's not the voltage that takes you out, it's the
But you
amperage.
still
How
have
many
to be able to
to
read.
read? But again, it No child left behind. Marlon asked, did you guys learn all 50 capitals to all 50 states? Just a general school question. Yes, that was a, let me tell you something. The curriculum now is a joke. These children now would not have passed. They wouldn't have passed middle school going to school with us, because I think by January, we always had a term paper due. And you were given a syllabus. I know you remember this solid. September, you were given your syllabus, and your teacher let you know, January, when we come back from winter break, that term paper is due. 5 to 10 pages. Yeah, you heard me. 13 years old, writing a 10-page report. You stressed out because you, but guess what? The teachers did not show us any mercy, because
Yeah.
they were like, listen, you knew in September that this paper was due in January. There is no reason for all of these mistakes. Yes, I'm going to fail you. And the problem is, Lucifer says 6th graders right now who cannot read beyond a 3rd grade level. I'm glad that we have an educator up here. The educators have a problem when they tell the parents, hey, listen, your child is falling behind. Your child is not reading on this grade level. Maybe we need to, my child is smart. Well, depends on what you call smart.
But again, I want to know, why are they in 6th grade reading? Why are they even in sixth grade? Shouldn't they still be in 3rd grade? And if they can't pass, then you just keep repeating. I mean, if they're going to be the oldest person, the tallest person in 3rd grade, whatever, because they kept failing. I mean, I just
are
don't
you going to
think
have an 11-year-old in a class with a bunch of 8-year-olds solid?
Well, yeah, you are. And even, because you know what? He's not going to be the only 11-year-old. So that means that you have to create another class for that particular group. Maybe at some point, it's like, if you are really, do you have to embarrass them to learn how to read? I mean, what the parents, what? Because sometimes the parents can't even read.
Oh, you remember? Okay, we would have to go back to Lean on Me. Remember when Joe Clark was like, if they can't read, get their parents in here. They can learn how to read too.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing, but you have a 6th grader who can't read beyond 3rd grade, because again, no child left behind. And now, and I don't know how it was. I know it's like this now. When a child has an IEP, and they can get an IEP for anything, a speech impediment, depression, anxiety. When they have an IEP, you can't fail them.
Okay.
You can't fail them.
All right.
So even if they're not on their level, you can give them a D, and a D is passing.
Oh, okay. All right. So
she's like, okay, I'm not dealing with this.
Let's talk about this. I stutter. I have stuttered since I have stuttered. Okay. And it's something that I constantly have to work on. I went through speech therapy. I mean, this is just me, but I can guarantee you, if my mother allowed me to use my stutter as the reason why I can't read, I wouldn't be here right now, because she would have knocked me from here to hell, to back to heaven, to hell, wherever it is. That's not an excuse.
I'm not saying it is.
Even, and I'm not trying to be funny. Even blind people can read. So I'm just saying that, just going from what you're saying, that you cannot fail them. Why not?
You can't.
Why not?
Because they have an IEP. It's like having it's like being special needs. They don't.
Okay.
They have an IEP.
Then you know what? Then you need to put them in another school, in another class, because No Child Left Behind is hurting the children who are up to par, who are up to speed. So now I can't go forward, because my teacher has spent the last 30 minutes in the classroom with this person who cannot read, instead of assuming that, oh well, you're good, you know how to do this. I'm supposed to get in the instruction from the teacher. And you also have some teachers that are saying, well, since you know how to do this and you always get A's, go help so and so. No, my child is not there to help your child. The teacher is supposed to do it. No child left behind is leaving behind the people who are up to speed, and they're the ones that are getting hurt.
I absolutely agree with you. And I had a friend whose child had a stutter, bad stutter, child could barely get something out. They put her in speech, but they gave her an IEP. And her mom said, no, I don't want her to have an IEP. There's nothing wrong with her brain. When, let me tell you something, when that little girl figured out that she couldn't be failed because she had an IEP, she deliberately did nothing. And her mother went to the school and said, fail her, fail her. Her parents, I take my hats off to them because they kept her back. They kept her back in the second grade because she just wasn't doing her work. She had to watch everybody go to the next grade. Do you know that next year she got all A's? But the minute they gave her that IEP and she realized she couldn't be failed, she didn't try. So she was 11, 12 years old, not on her level, because her parents were just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this kid? They're like, then the parents asked the school, listen, her speech is getting better. Take her, I don't want an IEP anymore. They're like, well, her stutter is still there. And because this child was still receiving speech, they remained the IEP, even though her parents were like, fail her. She's not going to
But
learn unless you
again, but
fail her.
okay, but a stutter does not prevent you from learning. I mean, and y'all, I have to say this to any parents out there or anybody who's listening to this and y'all don't like what we're saying. Ray Charles' mother told him, you're gonna learn how to do it. You're gonna learn. And I'm talking about just the fact that he was blind. Did not allow him to use the fact that he could not see to function in everyday life. You are going to learn how to do it. And he did.
I understand. But look at what Lucifer Morningstar says. They hand out IEPs like hotcakes. I have a scholar whose parent is working on getting them an IEP because the kid does not want to do their work. They can do it. I have absolutely seen it. They will not do it by choice. So now we have people who don't know how to write, who don't know how to fill out, who don't even know how to type up a resume without help. You can give me a blank piece of paper right now and I can write out my resume with no problem. That's because I was taught how to do it. I know where to capitalize, how to put the dates, my duties and responsibilities, why I left, so on and so forth. But it all boils down to laziness. That's all it is. And now at just these kids don't even have to carry books. That was the foundation that we had. We had to carry books. We had to read.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is where a comma goes. This is how you write a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows about
Mm-hmm.
question marks.
Mm-hmm.
So what you mean is, like,
Okay. Okay. Can we talk about the semicolon?
absolutely.
The fact that no one knows what a semicolon is and how to use it. I mean,
They really don't.
they truly don't. They truly don't. And again, I mean, I truly just don't get it, because when I was in school, that's why it just blows my mind to hear that you have kids that are in 8th grade and can't read. I could not imagine. I To me, reading is just something I've always done. You always just know how to read, but to be around people, I didn't have classmates who couldn't read. All of my classmates, I mean, we all could read. We could all spell. We could all. I mean, it just boggles my mind that you have children that are just. It's like, don't you want to know what the world? outside of your little world is like? Don't you want to be able to know, what that street sign says instead of just knowing, well, if I go down here and then turn left, then there's the corner store. Don't you want to? I mean, I'm just saying, but you have people that are like that. You have people
Yeah,
that, well, I just know that it's over there, that it's past Mrs. Smith's house. If I go
they're
past Mrs.
functionally
Smith's,
illiterate.
right, right. So again, and then I say, and I'm going to get into the relationship part like this because, and this is going to sound mean, I could not marry someone that couldn't read. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I just couldn't
Okay.
because number one, a lot of the burden would be on me, and also it's like you want to be able to talk about things and whatever. It's like, well, did you read this, or I mean, you don't understand. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
I just
I I agree. And like I said, it's one thing to be able to read. It's another thing to be able to comprehend what you're reading, understand what you're reading. So I think that, yeah, being with somebody who is illiterate, you would have to, okay, listen, you need to tell me something. Why are you 35 or 40 or even 20 and you don't know how to read? Did you drop out of school? Are you dyslexic? And see, we got to take that into consideration.
this is
You
true.
have people who suffer from dyslexia. So they didn't get the help that they needed to help them be able to slow down when they read. And then you have some people who just have no interest in school. So my thing is, if I met somebody and they're like, listen, I can't read. Do you want to learn how to read? Can we get you into a GED program? Let's go to the library. What do you want to do? Do you want to learn? Because it seems like these kids, they have this unrealistic notion that they're going to be on the next reality TV show or they're going to be the next Beyonce, whomever. But here's the thing, R. Kelly couldn't read, and I'm pretty sure he lost a lot of money because somebody swindled him one way or another.
Right, right, right.
Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly. So again, you may want to be the next Beyonce, the next Prince, whatever, but you got to know how to read the contract to make sure that you're not getting screwed.
I like whoever this is, Lucifer Morningstar. I am dyslexic, but I had to learn how to work around it because it was not a common diagnosis. It really can make you not want to read when you cannot get the help that you need. Now, see that right there. Fantasia, Mike Tyson, right? These were all
And that
people
and
who were
that
millionaires.
surprised me with Fantasia. That when she was on American Idol, she revealed that how she had to learn the songs. And once again, it's like to be in a world where there's letters all around you. I mean, everywhere you go, there's letters.
Right.
When you go to the market, I'm just not going to pick up, a bottle of whatever, and I have to, at least know how much
Right. Like how you
how much
know it
it
ain't on.
costs, or know, is
Right.
it this or is it this? Is it this? If I tell you go to the, I mean, just, I can't.
I couldn't imagine not being able to read because I read everything.
This is what I'm saying. This exactly,
I I'm
exactly.
constantly looking around like, "Hmm, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong." I read all the. I mean, it's when you're an avid reader, and my mom even signed me up for a speed reading
Hmm.
program,
Yeah,
so
I
I learned how to
yeah.
speed read.
Hmm.
So, and it just, I think that it just boils down into education being embedded in you. When your parents take your education seriously, sorry, from this to that high, you're going to take your education seriously because from the time that I could read, I had a book in my hand. I always had a book in my hand. My dad loved John Grisham novels. So I got
Yeah, I
into
think I
that.
read most of John Grisham novels. Yeah, yeah.
Right. I had a love for murder mysteries.
Hmm.
So I read those, but I also read um, you know, um Malcolm X's
Mhm,
autobiography,
mhm.
speeches. It's like you have and that's what technology is taking away from us. We're cheating. These kids are cheating themselves out of imagination. It's like you get a book that interests you, you can get lost in that book. And it's been times that I'm reading a book and I'm like, wait a minute, I was going so fast, I have to go back and read that page. You know what I mean? So it's like people say it all the time. Reading is fundamental. Reading is an essential part of life, even when you do not want it to be. Hmm. Can you
This is
build on that?
I mean, it's because words are all around you. Words and numbers, they're all around you. Words and numbers, they are always around you. Let's
Ooh,
see. Let me see.
you
Let me
take
look this
this
up
one.
here.
Very
Um,
interesting.
Reading is an essential part of life, and you don't want it to be. Okay, you read that one. Hold on. Okay, I will tell you part of the hindrances in schools. We moved to Chromebooks for almost everything, and the programs are set up to read uh, to you so that you don't have to. AI will write it all for you. All right.
Ooh.
Now, I had a conversation with somebody about these Chromebooks. Take
I'm
them out,
listening.
throw them away. You don't get a Chromebook until you get to college. Um,
Solid, do you remember carrying books in a book bag?
mhm, mhm,
Do you remember?
and
Y-
you know,
Yeah, had strong shoulders before I was ever able to go to the gym.
just Chrome. I mean, you're not learning you like you said the computer and AI is doing everything for you. When I took my son out of my son was homeschooled from fifth grade through 12th grade, and
Wow.
I think I said this before. When he was in homeschool, he went through K-12, which I have to say is one of the best homeschool good and one of the best Black history. Oh my goodness, the the content they have for that. Anyway, so his teacher, he would have to write these papers and um, send them on, and his teacher would call me and say, "Well, he doesn't have to write it. He can type." I'm like, he's gonna
Mm-mm.
write it. He is gonna write it. He's like, Mom, everybody else, you're gonna write it. And I said, because number one, my son has beautiful, beautiful cursive handwriting. Absolutely beautiful. And I said, number one, he's gonna practice that. And I said, and number two, he has to. I don't want him to get used to the computer. That will come when he goes to college, or whatever. He'll do all that then. But right now, he needs to learn how to write the comma. This is wrong. This is right. Whatever. And she said that out of all of the papers that she received over all the years that she was teaching, my son turned in the best papers that she has ever read.
Nice.
And and it just, I was smiling from ear to ear. My son was smiling from ear to ear, whatever. And she said, I see what you mean because, even she says, I can even see where he erased something, whatever. And, but she said, his handwriting, everything, the commas, whatever, he had the footnotes, all that stuff written. And now, and some parents may say that, that was a bit much, whatever, but that's what I had to do.
Penmanship.
And we don't even have we don't even have cursive in schools anymore, which I think is
No, we
ridiculous.
don't.
People, when you tell them to sign their name, they,
They write it.
they, it's like, no, sign. Do you know
No,
what
they
a
write it in
signature
print.
is? But
They write it in
but
print.
it
They don't
makes it
know
even
how.
worse because now you have these contracts, whatever, that are on the computer, and you just type your name into the thing and it's signed. So throw the
The Chrome.
Chromebooks away. Throw them away.
I'm all for throwing. See, I sign my signature when I first of all, on any given night at work, I have 3 to 6 trains a night. I sign mine just on one train. I sign my name 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. I have to sign my name. So yeah, I have, and then I have paperwork to do. So my penmanship, my mother did not tolerate sloppy handwriting.
Mhm.
She, uh-uh, do it over.
Do it over. Do it over. Yep.
Do it over.
Do it over. Do it over.
I still to this day have some of the prettiest handwriting, cursive and print, because all I could hear is my mother, you better do it right the first time.
Mhm.
You better do it right the
Do it
first.
over. Do it over.
My younger brother, I did the same thing to him. You're not turning that in. You're not
Do it
giving
over.
that teacher that homework. It looks like you did it on the bus. Go do it over. It was it and my brother has some of the prettiest handwriting. He has had women, grown women say, "You write prettier than I do."
Mhm.
Now, another friend of mine, her and her husband bumped heads because the husband once erased the whole paper that the kid did because it was so sloppy and illegible. The kid was Russian. He erased it. Go do it over. Child sat at the table, crying her eyes out. Now, this was his stepchild. He wasn't being
Mean.
nasty
Yeah.
to her. He said, no, she did this to Rush. The wife, why'd you have to erase the whole thing? He said, because it was sloppy and she knows how to write. She wrote it neatly the second time because he let her know, I will erase it again.
Okay, so if teachers stop accepting messy work and start giving you an F because you turn in something that I can't read, if I can't read it, I cannot give you a grade for it. Will that get students to at
That's
least
just gonna
print clearly? At least
that's
print
gonna
clearly?
that's gonna piss off a lot of parents.
Well, you know what?
Uh
You know, again,
Lucifer here is a educator, and I guarantee you this person can tell you that the parents are worse than the students
and
when
see,
it comes.
no,
You
I'm
tell
just
them,
gonna.
listen, I'm not grading this. I'm not straining my eyes because your child wanted to watch TV or do whatever. You even have parents who are now telling teachers, my child will not be doing homework because you have 7 to 8 hours to teach them what they need to know. When they get home, we need family time, everything else. So
Okay, one thing that I will say, and I don't know if this comes from the homeschool thing or what, but in homeschool there was no homework because everything you had. I mean, you had your, like, you have a term paper due, whatever, but everything was done in class, so to speak. I don't believe that children should go home and have 3 4 hours of homework. I don't. I do believe that when you go to school, it's like a job and you're already there for 8 hours. I don't believe that a child should have to come home and do more homework, that the only thing they can do is eat dinner, take a bath, and then they go to bed and they get up and they do it the next day. I don't think that's fair. I think that
that's fair.
and I don't think that teachers should also, they've been in class all this time, should have to come home and deal with 3 4 hours of homework. I mean, your job is over. um
Right.
I
Of
think the
grading
concept,
papers.
yes, I think the concept of homework, I I don't think that children should be assigned homework like that, like every night. I do believe, and especially on Fridays, I don't think they should have to have homework that they do over the weekend. I don't think it's fair. I do believe that they should do term papers and, class things that, it's September is due in December or January, whatever. But I do believe that school is like a job, and kids do get stressed out and they do need time to come down and let me go if they're going to watch TV or they're going to go to soccer practice or something.
I
I do.
agree.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I can
But
see I can see from that aspect. My I had a teacher. I my 12th grade teacher, Miss Sanders, may she rest in peace. She was a tyrant. She made us do homework every night. And I couldn't stand this woman. My grandmother passed away 1 week before my senior year. So I missed the first 2 days of my senior year. When I got back, that woman said, "You have to do Thursday's homework, Friday's homework, and I want it all by Monday." And it was 4 chapters that I had to read with definitions. I said, "I can't do all of that." She said, "You are a black child. Nobody's going to care." I said, "I'm not doing
What?
all of that." I said, "My grandmother died." She said, "I'm sorry for your loss, but you still have to do it."
Okay. That's what you got
I
to
didn't
do.
do I said, "Well, I'll take those zeros. So you're not going to do it?" No. No. I said, "My grandmother died. I was out Thursday and Friday, and when I came back Monday, I had Thursday night's work, Friday night's work, Monday night's work, and she wanted it Tuesday." I said, "You're not getting Thursday." I said, "You'll get tonight's homework. You'll get that Tuesday. You're not getting Thursday and Friday." I said, "My work should be excused." She was like, "Well, it's going to be on the test." I said, "Well, that's my problem now, isn't it? It's up to me to study those chapters."
Now, what grade were you in?
12th.
12. Okay.
I
So,
was a senior.
at what? Okay. So, the way the education system is now and in the United States is bad. It is bad.
It's terrible.
Um, who do we blame?
It starts at home. You gotta go home first. It's the parents. It's the parents. We
Thank
have
you,
to.
Marlon. Thank you. I mean, but okay. So then, okay. So then it goes back to: do parents care that they have a 20-year-old who is standing before them, and not only can they not read and write, but their grammar, coming back to the grammar thing, is just horrible. I mean, at some point, do parents say, "Damn, I should have done a little bit better," or do they care, or do they think that, well, I was able to get to this point without?
Yeah, it's a matter of coddling, and we're just gonna get that out the way right now. It's a matter of coddling, especially with the boys. Now, women like yourself, y'all are different. That don't take this crap from their sons. But you have some others. He's already a black young man. He got enough nonsense when he goes out this door. I'm not gonna ride him, and this, and they
And
end
that's
up
the reason why you have to.
fulfilling.
That's the reason why you have to. That's
Right,
the reason why you have to, because they are a black young man. That is the
right.
reason why you have to stay on them.
But unfortunately, they're not. They're just, like I said, parents are, and I'm not making excuses. These parents are overworked and they're tired. So guess what? They're gonna hand the kid, from the time these kids are young now, they have a tablet in their hand to keep them quiet, to keep them, and they start out learning their ABCs, one, two, threes, but it's like once they get to school, okay, kindergarten, we're doing this, A is for apple, B is for ball. But it I don't know. I'm trying to see where the break happens, because it's like after third grade or fourth grade, people are just like they've checked out.
My son
Hmm.
had an amazing kindergarten teacher who, to this day, I will still text every so often just to let her know, how he's doing. And she's like, "I'm so happy." He was he was a great. My son was a great kid. I'm sorry, he was, and he's a very nice young man. And just she was an amazing teacher, and he knew his ABCs when he could pretty much talk. And one thing that when he went into when I went to take him to the school in order, to to get him into the school, he had to test. He had to test for kindergarten, whatever, which sounds weird, whatever. And she said, "Do you know your ABCs?" And he's like, "Yes," whatever. And she said, "Say your ABCs." He said A, B, C, and he went all the way to Z. And she looked at me and she says, "This is one of the first children who have come in here and did not sing it. Singing your ABCs and saying it is two entirely different things." I said, "I know." I said, "Because when you sing it, you're memorizing. If you say it, you have to think A, B, C, D, whatever." And you would be amazed if you were to ask children now to say their A, to say it, not sing it. A lot of them can't do it. Um, it
Wow.
it
Didn't think about
starts,
that.
yeah, it starts at home. And again, I don't know if again, my mom was a teacher, and she just drilled so much stuff into us. We got those, what were those books that you can order? You can always order books. Uh,
Hooked on
uh,
phonics.
it was it started with an S, and every 2 weeks you can order the books,
Scholastic
Scholastic books.
scholastic books.
And we would come, and my mother would let me I mean, I would order 10, 15 books, read them. "Mom, can I order some more?" Whatever. And I would always have all these books, and the teacher would say, "Oh my God, your mother's not letting you order." I mean, it's just books upon books upon books. And I know that now it's hard for people to spend money, whatever, but again, there's the library. Or if you
And
have
the
a li
library gives free books.
Yes, or if you have a library in your classroom, whatever. Um, at one point, I stopped reading to my son every night. I'm like, "You gonna read to me," and he would read to me. You know, um, I just don't. Again, reading, grammar, spelling, they're all connected. People, they're all connected, and you have to know it in order to me, when you get to be a functioning adult, to be able to function in this world, you have to read, spell, sentence structure.
Nah, something just occurred to me. If these kids are not reading past a third or fourth grade level, how are they taking driver's ed? Now that's now that's
That's
scary.
scary. That is scary. That is scary. That is scary. Yeah, that is
I
scary.
like this. I like Lucifer Morningstar. Make sure you come back. We love educated people on this show. If you have to, find me on TikTok, Dread Empath 69. Wait a minute. Am I
Or
Dread
or
Empath
or you can send it
or Solid?
no, send it to friendlydifferences@gmail.com. So that's an
Oh,
email
there you
that
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
see,
the
that's
email that Dred and I both have access to. So
see,
if you
that's the
want to
one.
come onto the show, friendlydifferences at gmail.com. But he says, "I have a fully loaded library in my classroom. Once a week, we do independent reading. Even though I teach social studies, I feel it is necessary to supply them with a library." Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, my favorite subject in school, it kind of still is history. I love history, no matter what type it is. I love it. I love it. I love it. But that's just, again, that's just me. Can I see? Uh,
Wow. They
I
do not
don't
even
know
take the
who this
test in class.
is. I don't know.
I don't know either,
I,
but I like this person. But I'm bugging out. They don't.
okay,
They
listen.
do not even.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Yes, 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 yes. I know who this is. Yes, yes. I'm like, wait, okay. They don't even take the test in class. The tests have to be read out loud or other accommodations made. I mean, I mean,
She can't even
I mean, I'm
breathe,
just,
breathe, breathe.
I got it when you, it clicked on me with the Discord. Yeah,
Breathe,
I
breathe.
just can't, I just can't. How do you, okay, all right. So
Solid. Did you see the young girl that asked, how does she's like, if 2 plus 2 equals 4, then how is 2 times 2 4? And she wrote it down. First of all, she spelled schedule as SCHEDUAL. She was like, ignore that. I'm like, okay, so you spelled it wrong. Oh, okay. All right.
all right. So okay. Can I play this really quick because
Yeah, let's do it.
Lucifer Morningstar, I don't know if you, well, you know what? You may be able to use this, but you know, Schoolhouse Rock. I'm sorry. I just think that this is just one thing that yeah. So let me do this.
Read tests out loud, questions. Wow. I can't be a teacher. And
Okay.
I wanted to at once upon a time. I don't hear anything. I can't hear.
I'm going to stop it for a moment. Um, Lucifer, you the only one that can't hear it.
I
Uh,
can't hear it either.
you can't hear this.
Uh-uh. I was getting all happy.
Wait,
Like, hey.
hold on. Y'all was saying y'all can't hear it. I'm like, I'm sitting up here going, yeah, listening to it. All right, hold on for a second. Were you able to hear the other one from last week?
Stop sharing it. And when you go to share, look for the share audio option.
Okay, see, you always got to tell me how to do stuff. So let me take this off. Hold on. So were you able to hear the video from last week? You were able to hear that one, right?
Yeah, I was able to hear that one.
Okay, so I think I know what I did wrong. So let's just go on, and I'm gonna bring it up in a different way. So
But and that's another thing. We had more things that were geared toward education that help kids learn how to first enjoy learning, because I think that that's a cornerstone, that we used to enjoy learning. You know, we had Sesame Street, so we had, the count, one bird, two bird, Oscar the Grouch, this was Marlin. Barney helped me learn. Oh, I'm brushing my teeth on the bottom. Yeah, these were the characters that made learning fun. If you were going to put your child in front of the TV, they were going to learn something. Now you have dumb things like Blippy. I hate Blippy. We had Pee-wee's Playhouse, we had Barney, we had Sesame Street, we had the Big Comfy Couch, Conjunction, the Reading Rainbow.
mm-hmm,
We had Bill Nye the Science
mm-hmm,
Guy. They
mm-hmm,
made us want to learn.
mm-hmm.
They made us want to read. But now I don't know if the agenda is to deliberately dumb these kids down. Blippy is creepy. I can't stand Blippy. He get on my nerves. He's like a watered down version of Pee Wee, but even Pee Wee taught you stuff.
Okay, so reading Rainbow,
The reading
LeVar Burton. Can I tell
rainbow.
you, LeVar Burton has this thing on Podbean that I listen to all the time called LeVar Burton Reads. And he takes up and coming authors and he reads parts of their book.
Okay.
I listen to him literally every single day. Sometimes I'm sitting here working and he's just reading the story and he just has that voice. And even if you have to, I mean, just people just don't want to read. I mean, people just don't want to listen to people read. People don't want to, I mean, reading Rainbow was huge. It was
Oh
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's still on. Is it still on there? Because it's, I think, yeah, but yeah.
They started dumbing down kids when they started with the Teletubbies. The Teletubbies didn't do nothing. I mean, my little cousins and my brother, they loved the Teletubbies. Tinky Winky and Dipsy. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe. Yes, I watched that show many, many moons. But it was fun for them. But it's like now nothing is really geared toward the education of things. I mean, it's more so, hey, let's have fun. Just hearing the Bill Nye theme song hooked me to the show. Absolutely. Bill Nye, the science guy.
Mhm.
Yes, I loved Bill Nye. They taught you about, hey, well, look, peroxide and baking soda has this. So when you want to build remember having science fairs, like
Yeah.
actual science fairs,
Yeah.
you had to read, you had to research. See, we
But
didn't have all of this.
the problem is again I go back to, is it the fact that the teachers are not pushing it that you have to do it, or is it that the parents are pushing back and saying my child's not going to do it?
I think it's more so the parents. Um, more Lucifer Morningstar was saying that he doesn't like to assign too much homework. Not more than 5-10 minutes of research. I can deal with that. I
Well,
can deal with that.
now that I know who Lucifer Morningstar is, she doesn't like.
She okay,
She doesn't
ma'am.
like. Oh boy, but
But I think different
for
breathe.
I wish if I would love for you to come on sometimes, and I know that you are probably going to say no. Um, but sometimes we say, come on up. We send the link, and you can come up here. But I would just love for you to just tell some of the stories that you've told me um, about your class, because she is fascinating. She is fascinating, and the things that she does with her class to interact with them, it's like we need more people. We need more
So,
teachers.
Solid, you and I were just talking about this before we went
Mm-hmm.
on the air.
Mm-hmm.
With the young lady who teaches ballet, and she teaches ballet to 5-year-old little girls, people, and these little girls are asking to listen to Pound Town by Sexy Red. Now, if you know, you know. But Pound Town is very, very, I don't want to say offensive. It's
Is
inappropriate for a 5-year-old. And no 5-year-old should know about the song. But this young lady is 22 years old. She's in college. And these 5-year-olds are so bad that she's thinking about never working with anybody's children again. So if she's in ballet and having problems, we really need to do something as far as our children in the academic sense. Listen, I don't care how y'all feel about what I'm about to say. Everybody is not going to the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, the NHL. Everyone is not getting a record deal. Everyone will not get into Juilliard. But you can go to that community college, because guess what? Even to get into a community college, you have to write an essay. And how you write that essay is very important. Get it together, folks.
It is. It is. I cannot get this the way I want it to because let me try it one more time here.
Let's see. I hope I can hear it.
Because I'm sharing it the way I usually share it. So
It's a conspiracy. Who's listening? We're talking about better education for the kids. You won't take us down.
okay, let me see if I can get this one going. This is still a Schoolhouse Rock. So let me start it and tell me if you guys can hear it.
As your body grows bigger,
Your mind must flower,
it's great to learn.
'cause knowledge is power.
So you do hear it. Okay.
It's Schoolhouse Rocky, the chip off the block of your favorite Schoolhouse Rock.
You've been waiting for Conjunction Junction.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction junction, how's that function?
I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
Conjunction junction, what's their function?
I got and, but, and, or. They'll get you pretty far. And, that's an additive, like this and that. But, that's sort of the opposite. Not this, but that. And then there's or, O-R. When you have a choice like this or that. And, but, and, or get you pretty far.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up 2 boxcars and making them run right. Milk and honey, bread and butter, peas and rice.
Hey, that's nice.
Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or 2. He's poor but honest, sad but true. Boo-hoo!
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up 2 cars to 1 when you say something like this. Choice, either now or later, or no choice. Neither now nor ever.
Hey, that's clever.
Eat this or that, grow thin or fat. Never mind, I wouldn't do that, I'm fat enough now.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up phrases and clauses that balance like out of the frying pan and into the fire. He cut loose the sandbags, but the balloon wouldn't go any higher. Let's go up to the mountains or down to the seas. You should always say thank you or at least say please.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses in complex sentences like in the mornings when I'm usually wide awake, I love to take a walk through the gardens and down by the lake where I often see a duck and a drake. And I wonder as I walk by just what they'd say if they could speak. Although I know that's an absurd thought.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up cars and making them function.
Conjunction junction, how's that function?
I like tying up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction junction, watch that function.
I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're very...
Marlon says, this is so catchy. Man, listen, we got that every week.
Conjunction Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse
Rock. And I mean, and the thing about it is they still have the CDs, the videos, whatever. I have the videos, VCR, whatever. But I'm just saying that they have so many of those, and it is something that you can learn, that is catchy, that you can, remember. So there are tools out there. There are tools out there for both adults, children.
Mhm.
They are out there, and this is one that I think that just should stay. It's priceless, at least to me.
Yeah, but where would they see that? People are streaming everything but what they
Okay,
need.
so it's on YouTube. I just pulled it off of YouTube.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, anything is on YouTube.
I'm trying here. I'm trying to give them some grace, but when it comes down to the education of our children, the betterment of their minds, we cannot compromise because these are people we are sending into the world that can barely read, that can barely spell, and that have no comprehension of what they're reading. And we made our jokes, but it's very serious.
Well, I was gonna play girlfriend's video from TikTok, but I think we're gonna save that one for the discipline show.
Oh, yeah, that's
We are
would you
gonna
like
save that one for the discipline show, y'all. So we have hold on, I'm sending Lucifer, I'm sending the email to you now on Discord. Okay, so all right. So um
you get the
we're
last word?
almost well, I mean, we're almost at, we're at an hour to 10 minutes. We usually start winding up at an hour 15. So me personally, I'm sorry, but the library people, um y'all need to go to the library. Um the people who call the ambulance is ambulance, not the ambulance. The two people learn the TOO, the TWO.
Yes.
Cereal and
Ba-
cereal, SERIAL is not I'm eating cereal for breakfast, SERIAL. You're eating CEREAL for breakfast.
Stop pronouncing the L in salmon.
Yeah, Lucifer, you got to see our opening comments. So um yeah, yeah, we talked about last week's show. You got to go back and watch last week's show because there was a lot of pushback on that one.
I don't
But
care.
I
I don't
mean,
care.
Dread. I'm just saying that when people do not speak correctly, and I have been called bougie, I've been called a snob, I have been called, but
Me too.
I'm doing like this,
You know
and
what
then
I've been told?
if my sister is with me, if the two of us are together, we're literally, if we're sitting next to each other, we're like hitting each other, like, and then when we get into the car or wherever we're going, we always say, is it us?
No, you know how it makes you feel abnormal because I've been told you're so proper. I'm like,
But it's not
cause
proper.
I'm like, cause I speak correctly. Yeah, and I can't stand when they say you're talking white. I'm like,
But then again, have you heard some white people speak?
I absolutely have, and I said ignorance has no color. I'm gonna need y'all to stop saying that. So yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. So once again, I just say, and the people out there who are get mad at me when I say this, because I'm gonna repeat it.
Uh-oh.
You can have education, but not be educated.
Amen.
So I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And you cannot. And there are people who don't have the paper, and they speak very well.
Eloquently, yes. I get told more often than not. Apparently, talking white is a thing. I thought it was speaking properly. See? It's
you
terrible.
know and you know what, Lucifer, there's another show that I would like to ask if you would like to be on. Actually, there's 3 different topics that I think that you may be interested in being in, but I will hit you up and we can talk about that. But before I take us out, Dread, you have any last words that you want to say, or have you said them all, or
I've said them all. I'm gonna end with this before Solid takes us out. Um, The holiday is coming up on Thursday. I want everybody to have a safe holiday, if nothing else. Please do not drink and drive. There is Uber, there's Lyft, sleep on the couch. Don't sleep in your car if it's cold where you are, but please make sure that you take care of yourself and each other. Um, and try and be thankful for what you have. That small apartment that you live in is a mansion to somebody who's sleeping on the street. That 2002 car that you complain about is a Bentley to somebody that's walking. That last $50 that you have to your name is $1 million to somebody without a job. So try and be thankful. Please be safe and be good to yourself and to other people. If you're suffering from depression, please call a depression hotline. If you know that someone is suffering from depression, please reach out to them and don't let them spend the holiday alone if you can help it. Solid.
Okay. All right. So there is no show next week, guys. That's the 25th. We will be back on December 2nd, where I think we have a lot of topics, y'all. We have so many topics. We have so many topics that are going to push buttons. But we are looking to reformat the show at the beginning of the year. Actually, the beginning of the year, we're going to be on season 3 of Friendly Differences. I'm really proud. I'm really proud about that. So, yeah. So, but we have some topics that are coming up where, it's going to push some buttons, and we've already pissed people off in the stuff that we've already done. But I'm hoping to do, if we can get the guests that we want. We talked about interracial relationships. Now we're going to talk about interracial children.
Kids.
Yeah.
The voices we don't hear.
Yeah, right. So that is what we are going to talk about. But guys, we have stuff coming up where we're going to talk about Jewish people. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of people that may not, they may not, we're going to talk about disciplining your children, the ones that don't, the ones that do, how you should, why you didn't, what's wrong with you. We have so many things. That was one of the things I was going to ask you, Lucifer. That's one of the things I was going to ask you. But seriously, we have so many things coming up in 2024 where
we're going there.
Yeah, we are going there. We're talking about it, and if you listen, my TikTok is tame compared to Dread's. Dread is dragging folks. She is. I'm like, okay, everyone, and blah 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 blah. Dread is like, look.
And another thing, okay.
So, and
write me in the comments.
And Dread uses her colorful language in her TikTok, which I tell her that she can't use on the show all the time, but you listen to her TikTok, and she will break it down for you. But anyway, you guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday, and as Dred said, be thankful for what you have, because there are a lot of people who have absolutely nothing. So until then, we hope to see you again on December 2nd.